This is a story I hoped I'd never have to tell, or at least I hoped it would have a different ending. So one day last November, I received an email no one doing KDP ever wants to receive. An alert email telling me that a review of my books had found one that could be misleading to customers. Or what I think they meant was, they thought I tried to copy another book, hoping that some people who wanted to buy that book bought mine instead. The email went on to say that I should reply in one of two ways. Firstly, I could say that my book was distinct enough that it couldn't be confused for the known work. Or secondly, I could say that I was the owner of the known work and give them evidence that I own the associated Author Central account. If I didn't reply in one of these ways within 5 business days, my book would be removed from sale. However, in the email, where it was supposed to tell me the name of the book that caused this alert, the name was missing. The only thing there was a code I didn't recognize. It wasn't an ASIN or an ISBN, so it had to be some other internal Amazon code. So because I was panicking and feared for my account, I wanted to resolve the problem, whatever it was, as soon as possible. 19 minutes after the alert email arrived in my inbox, I replied, asking for the name of the book. This may have been a very big mistake, as I was replying in a way other than the two they requested. 6 hours and 1 minute later, while I was sound asleep, I received the next nightmare email, the one everyone who publishes through KDP dreads with all their soul. My account was terminated. I was not allowed to open another account, and I was no longer eligible to receive KDP royalties. Terminated. What happened to the penalty from the alert email, the removal of my book from sale, or some lesser penalty like just suspending my account or forfeited a month's royalties? Anything but termination. What had I done to deserve this? So I emailed them and contacted them through the KDP platform. Even though my account had been deleted, I still had the Contact Us option, but it was limited to just 2 options: appeal account termination and other. I was frantic. I messaged them in all the ways I could, apologizing for whatever I'd done wrong, promising to fix it if they gave me the chance, and asking which book they had a problem with. Eventually, one of the people at KDP support took pity on me and told me the name of the book. It was a planner. A dated planner for the year 2020, which I had uploaded with over 400 other planners back near the end of 2019. This was a strategy I tried once and then didn't try again, scaling out an interior with lots of covers to appeal to various niches and fandoms. Since then, I'd concentrated on medium and high content books of greater quality, in my opinion, but it was one of those mass-scaled books that caused the problem. Specifically, one that had a cover that featured a dragon eating a taco and with the phrase, "Dragons love tacos." It may be a lot of the people watching this video, if anyone does watch it, are groaning right now because you know the problem, but I still didn't. It wasn't until much later that I found out that there was a children's storybook by this name. I had literally no idea. I should have checked. I should have searched the phrase on Amazon before I uploaded it, and I should have searched for it when I found out the name of the book that caused my account termination. But I didn't. That's my fault, and as far as I can tell, that's all I'd done wrong. As a result, I'd lost my account. If the name of the book had been included in the original alert email, I would have immediately removed it from sale myself, no matter if it had been my bestseller or a dated planner from 3 years ago that never sold anymore. I valued my account greatly and would have done pretty much anything to keep it, but I wasn't given a chance. I now know that I shouldn't have replied to the alert email. If I hadn't cared so much for my account, I might have just waited the 5 business days and Amazon would have removed the problematic book themselves. But then I would have had a mark against my account. Now, of course, I wish I only had a mark against my account instead of losing it entirely, but I was so afraid for my account that I didn't stop and think before acting. Not only did they not give me the name of the book so I could fix the problem, nor did they give me the 5 business days they promised in the alert email, but on top of all that, it looks like my book wasn't even too similar to the known work in the first place. The alert email included a definition for how the book would be allowed on the platform if it were distinct enough. Sufficient differentiation may include one or more of the following: different category or genre than the known work. My book was under the calendars, diaries, annuals, and more category. The known work is under a number of children's books and fiction categories. There was no overlap of categories. The book cover design is significantly different than the known work. The art style was completely distinct and the pose of the dragon was different. The main title is a short phrase or common term. The title of my book was 2020 Week to View Dated Planner Diary. That seemed short and to the point and full of common terms to me. The subtitle and/or description is significantly different than the known work. So here was the one place where my book was too similar. The subtitles didn't match as the known work doesn't have a subtitle, and mine was 6 by 9 inches paperback Dragons Love Tacos, similar to the main title of the known work. But I would say that this is a pretty generic phrase. It isn't trademarked, and honestly I used it without knowing there was a pre-existing children's picture storybook by the same name. So my subtitle was where I had a problem. But surely the majority of metrics that tell whether the book was distinct enough showed more than enough differentiation. What's more, there are 2 other books that are far more similar than mine to the known work, but are presumably still distinct enough as they haven't been removed from Amazon. They're both children's picture storybooks, they both have far more similar cover art than my book did, they both share a number of the same children's book categories as the known work, and one of them even seems to reference the pre-existing book in its title. One is called Dragons Love Farts, They're More Fun Than Tacos. This book has been on Amazon since November 2021, a year before my account was terminated. It's still on sale with a BSR that is currently $5.72, so it's selling very well. The other is called Dragons Love Taco Tuesday. It's only been on Amazon since March this year, but it still shows that a very similar book is apparently distinct enough to be allowed. If these 2 books are differentiated enough from the known work, surely mine must have been too. But none of this has managed to sway the people at KDP enough to give me back my account. I have appealed the termination many times from different angles, but have never been successful. Most of the time they didn't even reply to my messages, but a few times they replied to me to say they need some time to look into it before then ultimately upholding the termination. I've even employed the services of an attorney who specializes in getting Amazon accounts back for their clients. They drafted a number of appeals for me, gave me the email addresses of the people to escalate it to, and finally sent a legal letter to the KDP legal department, but it all ended in the same disappointment. At this point, I can only see 3 possibilities. Firstly, I could be totally wrong. My actions may have been totally unforgivable and my account termination was the correct response. Or secondly, each time they've said they will review my appeal, they just saw that I had appealed before and upheld the termination again without looking into the details. Or thirdly, the termination was actually for some other cause they haven't told me. If this is the case, the whole system is even worse than I thought. How can I defend myself or make appeals if I don't know what I'm defending? All I know at this point is that it seems I'm at the end of the line. Over a half a year of appealing has fallen on mostly deaf ears. My business is dead. One of the saddest parts of all this for me is the waste. I've made so many books over the years, and now they're all just dead. I have a handful of my own children's picture storybooks that used to sell well but will never again see the light of day. I have a brand of puzzle books that were just getting off the ground but are dead now. And most painfully, I have a brand of coloring books that were just starting to pick up traction but are now dead too. I even have 6 fully finished coloring books that will never be seen because I've kept my designer on payroll through all this, as I was so sure there must have been a mistake and I would get my account back eventually. Thankfully, I do have other streams of income. While KDP was my favorite, as it was the one that involved the most creativity, it also seemed like the one with the most potential for growth. It wasn't my whole livelihood. However, I can imagine this Kafka-esque nightmare being dramatically worse for people who rely on their accounts for all their income and then lose them. I think my account termination was illogical, unjust, and unfair, but that's just my opinion. I'd be really interested to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you agree with me that I didn't deserve to lose my account, or do you think it was entirely justified? For those of you who upload books to KDP, probably most of the people watching this, I would say keep going, make the best books you can, be proud of them, don't think about how something like this might happen to you. But also, just in case, think about setting up additional income streams. No one ever has too many income streams, but sometimes people find they have too few. I hope nothing like this happens to any of you. I'm envious of all of you. I wish I could still create books, and that books I spent a massive amount of time, effort, and money creating could still be sold, but that's over for me now, it seems. Thank you for your time. I hope you found this interesting. Bye.